Hello and welcome to the channel. Channel name is Convictions He Explains. So a little bit about myself. I have a background in criminal justice, have a degree in interdisciplinary studies with a concentration in criminology. I have prior law enforcement experience, about 6 years or so to be exact. I also, in that law enforcement experience, I was a probation and parole officer, and the primary responsibility for that role is to enforce sentences from the court. And that is where I gained the bulk of my experience. Also recently graduated from law school. That's not my claim to fame, as I have not yet passed the bar exam, but I'm looking forward to it. At least the bulk of that journey is complete. And so I came up with the idea to start this channel while waiting to take and pass the bar exam. And also the thought process behind such is that people often have questions about the particulars of a person's sentence once it comes out. And so the sentence I have for you today comes out of Fulton County, Georgia, and it pertains rapper Gunna, and it is a portion of the YSL RICO charge that's currently going on in Atlanta. So, as you all may know or do not know, rapper Gunna did take a plea deal, and that plea deal was for 5 years. First year was commuted to time served, and the remaining time will be suspended if he completes certain actions demanded by the court. That charge was for conspiracy to violate the Racketeer Influence and Corrupt Organizations Act. And of course, like I said, that is a branch of the YSL RICO case. And I've heard a lot of talk about this particular sentence online, because the first thing that is often said about Gunna is that he is a snitch. And a lot of people feel that way. Rapper Gunna himself said that he felt betrayed by his legal team, and that he didn't think that taking this type of a plea deal would have turned out in the way that it did. But typically your attorney is going to fully explain these things, or they're required to fully explain these things to you prior to you saying yes. Also, you have the opportunity to read before you sign and agree to certain things, but who's to say that these things didn't happen? And also, if he doesn't have that background or that knowledge in that particular area, reading it may have not helped him. So it's an unfortunate situation that he feels that way. But let's get into some of these special conditions. So, and to explain a little, with a special condition, these are the actions that the courts want you to take while being under sentence. Or it could be things that the court wants you to stay away from. A sentence out of Georgia also comes with general conditions of probation, and a violation of those is not treated the same as a violation of a special condition. So you have the general conditions, everybody under sentence gets those. Then you have the special conditions, and those vary based on the particular crime and the particular sentence. So his special condition is that he will agree that upon completion of the special condition in his sentence, the suspended sentence will terminate by consent order. So that is the remaining 4 years of the probated sentence will terminate. And what the courts want him to do is to complete the following. It says, if called by any party, in this case, you will testify truthfully, but you reserve your right to your Fifth Amendment privilege against self-incrimination. So what they want him to do is to testify, probably more than likely, against others in that pending YSL RICO trial. But the key to this particular special condition that kind of works in Gunna's favor is that he has the right to invoking his Fifth Amendment privilege against self-incrimination, and doesn't necessarily have to provide and answer when asked certain questions if he is called to testify. And he can get on the stand and say that he chooses to utilize his Fifth Amendment privilege against self-incrimination. And so that wouldn't necessarily require him to quote unquote snitch. The other special condition that he has is that he is to agree to perform 500 hours of community service and to complete at least 350, a substantial portion of which will require that he speak to young men and women about the hazards and immorality of gangs and gang violence and the decay that it causes in the community. He is to agree that the community service location shall be determined by the office of the Fulton County District Attorney. That particular clause is different from what normally happens, as the Department of Community Supervision, which is Georgia's probation and parole department, typically decides where a person will complete their community service. But because they want him to do something specific, they maintain those rights within the district attorney's office. His next special condition is that he is not allowed to possess any guns during the term of this sentence or any time thereafter, unless his right to do so is restored, as typically while under a felony sentence, whether it be first offender or not, your gun rights are taken away. His last special condition is that he shall not commit any other criminal acts. And so those are the special conditions that he has in his sentence. And so he doesn't necessarily have to, once again, testify against them. He can choose to invoke his Fifth Amendment right. But I'll go back a little, because the type of sentence that he took a plea deal to was a negotiated plea that was negotiated, and he pled guilty under an Alford plea. And under an Alford plea, you're essentially just saying that I am not necessarily saying that I am guilty, but what I am saying is that there may be enough evidence against me that if I choose to move forward in a jury trial, that a jury may find that evidence to be enough to convict me. So after accepting this plea deal under Alford, there were some questions that were, and as typically are, posed by the district attorney. And I believe this is the main points that people were referring to when they were saying that he snitched. And so what the district attorney does is goes over the particulars that happened in this specific case, Gunna only. And so they asked him kind of like yes or no questions. One was, about YSL being a gang, in which he answered yes to the affirmative. And I think that's the main one that the prosecution will utilize in their case against the other members of YSL, Young Thug probably to be the main one there. But that is what he had and did answer in the affirmative, that YSL was a gang. Of course, he also issued a statement that he was saying that he joined and was a part of it, in that it was supposed to be a record label only pertaining to music, nothing pertaining to any type of gang or other criminal activity. But a lot of people will not see it that way. But that is why they're calling him a snitch. So I just kind of wanted to talk about this particular case and kind of give you my take on it and let you form your own opinion. I decided to complete this video as Gunna has a new album coming out, and with all the rap beef that's going on, such as between Drake and Kendrick Lamar, you have Future, who is also trying to release an album, who has said like some choice words against Gunna's introduction or statement of that his album is coming out, to where he basically said F his mixtape or his album or whatever you want to call it. Then he went on to promote his own album, which will be, I guess, dropping on the same day. So with that, I decided to do this video because a lot of people may be wondering where this is coming from on Future's side. And it could be because he did not like Gunna's choice in taking this plea deal, and also thinks that he's a snitch. So he was just a target, and this was another way to promote the album. Possibly, who knows? everything is about opinion these days, and that's kind of what we are talking about. So, but that is the conclusion of the video. Please, as always, like, subscribe, comment your thoughts. Also, if you have other criminal sentences and convictions that you would like to cover, some that you may not understand the conditions of the sentence or what typically happens in that type of sentence, and I'd be happy to kind of talk about the case and bring you all another video. Thank you again. See ya. I'm out.